Alright, so on the Sienna, I'm doing the bumper bracket. It's behind right here. It's right here. This is what it looks like. Basically, these just sag over time. Here's my part number. This is the from the dealer. It goes. Let's check it out. So first, we gotta get the fender well disconnected from the front bumper. There is a little plastic pin right here. You take a flathead and you turn it about I'd say about like 45 degrees, and then you should be able to pop it out, and it should come out just like this. You want to save this, try not to break it, and then once that's out, we're going to come up here and we're going to get this this little screw out. And I thought it was a 10, but when I put my 10mm on it, it was like too big, so there's a spot for a Phillips, so we're just going to use a Phillips head on this to get it off. I don't know if this is the actual OEM screw or someone else put a different screw on there. You're gonna lift this tab over this and pull this out. You're gonna wiggle it a lot and it'll pop out. Same for down here as well. Get that out, and you can just kind of wiggle this a lot and gently pull it out. Try not to rip it out because you don't want to break these tabs on the bumper. Those little white tabs, because those lock into the bracket to hold it in place. So we're just gonna wiggle this and kind of pull this out like that, and get us some room to get to these bolts. Basically, there's a little bolt right here, and there's a bolt over here. Now the trick is to get these out without putting too much pressure on the front bumper. You can use a small little wrench, a small little ratchet to kind of get you some more room in there. But what you're gonna have to do is let's come to the bottom and disconnect the fender well from the bumper. On the bottom there are these 10mm screws that are connected. We're going to do this so the bumper will move away from the vehicle more freely and we could have more room. So get these screws out. There's 3 right there on that air dam, then there's 1 right here. And then with those disconnected, you'll be able to pull the bumper out more to give yourself some space. See, like that. And then we'll get in here and get these 10mm out. Now try not to bend this bumper, because these bumpers are really finicky. You could bend them real easy and then the whole thing's going to be in vain. So I'm going to sneak in here and get this 10mm bolt out like this. So this one's an actual bolt. The other one has like more of a screw, but they're both a 10mm head. So I got my bolt out. I'm going to put that to the side, and then here's the 10mm screw I'm going to get out. Get this out. Save this as well because we're going to need it. And then once those are out, we're just going to gently pull this. Just wiggle and pull it out. It should pop off. Sometimes they could be stubborn, but, you know, it'll come out for you. And then we'll get our new one here. Here's my part number. This is for the left front. They call it a retainer. Alright, so we're going to kind of pull this bumper away, and then we're going to slide this in here. Now this little clip part is what you need to get in, but make sure the front part of it's lined up, and then we'll just push this in. It should clip. You should make a little a little click noise, clip in place, and we're going to put our screw in. So after that's in, we're going to put our bolts in. This one up here is again the bolt one that has machine threads on it. It's a bolt. And then here's our screw one. And this one goes in the back one right here. Get this in. Now when this tightens down, it might not like stop spinning. It might just kind of start to spin again. So just, if it does that, it's fine. As long as it's in, it's putting pressure inside that clip, you're good. Then we're going to push this. Start from the front. And make sure this fender well is not pushing on the bumper, because if you push it in and that fender well is pushing on it, it'll kind of like make it not sit right. So we're going to start up here, make sure it goes underneath the headlight correctly. I start on this side and I just work my way over. Just push it in place. It should click in. It'll just make a clicking noise, and then it should kind of stay in on its own. And then we got to make sure this fender well goes behind the bumper. Right, some guys mistakenly leave this out front, the fender well, and this needs to go behind. It needs to go inside the clip. This little hole part on the fender well goes in the middle of that clip, because that pin's going to go through it and then lock that in place. It holds it in place. That could be kind of tedious to mess with, but that's how it goes. All right, so once we got that in, the fender well is behind the bumper. It's it's sitting in place, and everything's correct. Like I said, make sure that hole right there is good. This pin should go through the hole, and then you'll turn it about 45 degrees or 90 degrees to lock it in place. And then we'll put this screw back in right here. Get my screwdriver and screw that in, and that holds it in place. Right there. I'm starting to think that this screw is not the one that came with the car. Someone put that in there. But anyways, then we'll put our air dam and our lower fender well part back connected back on, and make sure it looks how it did before we started. You could reference the other side of the car if you need to see how everything goes. But yeah, if you don't have this fender well back in how it was, it could catch on the wheel and pull off and be a big mess when you're driving. So make sure the fender well goes into all the spots it's supposed to, and it's secured tight with the bolts that everywhere it's supposed to be secured. Like I said, just check the other side to see how it's supposed to look, and you should be all right. Well, that's it, guys. Hope someone out there finds this helpful. Thanks for watching.